Hey, it's Hawken with Topdon, and today we're going to do a walkthrough video on Topdon's newest compact portable midline series, the ArtiDiag900 BT. So, you're probably wondering some basics about the tool as far as the hardware goes. So we'll go over the hardware first before we go into the software. When we go to the software, we will go over to the vehicle and connect the tool to the vehicle. And we'll walk you through all the menus and show you kind of everything and where it's located, just for basic navigation purposes. So, for the hardware, we have a compact tool like this. You'll see it's got some nice grippy material on the back here. You'll see that also the dongle is located actually right here on the very bottom. We can actually pull it out, which is pretty cool. Easy for storage, easy to keep from losing it, and snaps right in there so you can keep track of it. And then we also have the in and out ports over here. So there are the ports. We have a USB-C for charging and a regular style USB-A for inserting. If you want to plug in like a flash drive or something like that to take videos or pictures off of the tool, then you can do that. Now, you will notice that this does have a speaker. However, there is no camera on this particular tool. So we do not have any ability to take pictures or anything external with regards to that. So that's the essential tour of the physical hardware. So we're going to go over to the vehicle now, and we're going to walk you through all of the menus so that you can see how to navigate the tool effectively. Okay, so now we're over here at the tool, and we've got the tool connected to the vehicle. So we are going to walk you through all of the basic menu. So the first thing we're going to start with here is the settings. In the bottom right corner from the main screen, we're going to find the settings menu. So you'll find a number of different things in the settings menu. As we scroll through here, we can see there's quite a few choices. Dongles is where we find the serial number for the physical dongle that comes out of the bottom of the tool. That serial number is the serial number you will use to refer to your device if anyone at support asks you for your serial number. Renewal is where we can see when our software expires for any of the brands of software that we have. Browser takes you to Google Chrome and launches you directly into Google Chrome. To go backwards, all you have to do is swipe from the side of the screen. Customer management allows you to add individual customers. So if you have a shop and you want to add in each of your individual customers, you can do that. Or if you're a mobile outfit and you want to use this for pre and post scans and you want to add your customers, you can do that as well. We'll go back. Business information is where we can add our logo, our shop name, and our address, as well as our phone number, which will write to any reports. We can lock our screen if we want to by setting a screen lock. Currently, I do not have a screen lock set. USB connection mode basically allows you to turn on and off connectivity for the USB port. Remember, the USB ports are located on the bottom of the tool, so if you want to plug in something like a USB drive in order to upload or download any videos or pictures, screenshots that you take, or screen recordings you take with the tool, that will allow you to do that. Silent upgrade software is just a reminder piece that just reminds you about upgrading the software in the background. The tool will automatically go and download all updates. Screenshots we can turn on from either here, or we can drag from the top of the screen down and touch the little clipboard. Once we touch the little clipboard, now we can take a screenshot right from there. You can also drag this around on the screen if you need to move it in order to see something on the screen more clearly. Now we can turn that off. Photo album allows you to access all screenshots or videos that you have taken. I believe it will take you just to photos in the screenshots section in photo album. If we go to screen floating window, this allows us to take a screen recording video. So if we press that, it will take a brief screen recording video. We can hit stop. We can title it and save it. We also have the ability to drag from the top down and press the little camera to turn that off. You'll notice if we toggle it on here and drag from the top of the screen down, it lights up as blue. If we turn it back off, it automatically toggles back off here. Here is where your screen recordings are found, is in the screen recorder section. Wi-Fi just simply allows you to modify which network you are connected to. Brightness allows you to modulate and change the screen brightness. Now remember, screen brightness will affect your battery life. So if you turn this up higher, it will drain your battery much faster. Language allows you to modify what language you want to see on the tool. Units of measurement allows you to toggle from metric to imperial. Time zone allows you to modify which time zone you are in, so that when the tool writes any reports, it will write them with the time that they were recorded. Sleep time is when the screen will turn off and the tool will go to sleep, so you can change this interval to longer or shorter to preserve battery life. Firmware fix is what you will want to use if you have any issues communicating with the dongle of the tool. If there are any communication issues or you're having trouble getting a vehicle to scan, you want to try the firmware fix. Clear data actually gives you a number of different options. You do not want to do these as a normal course of action unless you are having a problem with the tool. Remember, if you clear the cache or you do clear data or a factory reset, you will lose all data on the tool. So that means screen recordings, screenshots, anything that you have saved, you will lose that information. Now, if you email that information to yourself before you do any of those, then you will have that information saved on the cloud and have access to it if necessary. Diagnostic Software Clear will allow you to delete specific vehicle manufacturers. So if you're having a problem with a specific vehicle brand and you would like to try and resolve it, you can do this and delete that software individually, then reinstall it, which will oftentimes fix any issues you are having. Continuing on through the menu here, we've got File Manager, which allows us to get into the back side of the tool, see how much storage we have left, and access other storage that we might have on the tool. As a general statement, we're not going to go in there because this is not an open Android format, so we really don't have the ability to access any other apps as a general statement. Therefore, the File Manager is largely going to be not necessary. Screencasting allows you to cast the screen to another monitor if it has the wireless capability. Help will take you to a basic Q&A. Remote Diagnosis gets you to TeamViewer. TeamViewer can be used if you want to assist another technician on their tool. They can give you this ID and you can log in and see their screen and potentially control the tool. Otherwise, if you need somebody else to help you, including technical support, you can send this ID to them or tell them the ID number and they will be able to log in and see what's happening on the tool. App Update allows you to update the base software of the tool itself. So this would be the operating system of the tool. It is a good idea to check this on a regular basis, although the tool will typically do this on its own. About is going to give you additional information about the tool, which is largely something you won't need, but if you do talk to support and they need this information, this is where you will find the information. That concludes the settings menu, so we're going to go back now to the main screen. Again, we're going to work in reverse order here. Feedback is where we're going to go if we have any issues with the tool performing a specific function. If the tool fails to communicate with a specific vehicle, if it fails to save a report, any problems you have whatsoever, you'll want to go into the feedback, you'll want to touch whichever vehicle software you had the issue with, you will choose the feedback log just like this, you'll hit OK. Then you will define what kind of feedback it is, and you'll have an option to type in a description of the problem. After you do this, please send this report off, as this helps the engineers fix any problems that might be occurring in the tool. So again, please take the time to send the feedback. This is the only way that the tool will be upgraded and improved quickly. We need your help in order to achieve this. And this is true of all scan tool manufacturers. Those feedback logs are how they fix problems with the software faster. Repair info is going to take us to some just real basic information. So if we click on learning first, you can see some basics about special functions. If we click on video, we don't have anything in here currently. Coverage list just allows us to see the basic vehicle coverage map for the tool. We're not going to go through this right now, but you can see it there. And the OBD fault code library allows you to type in basic universal format fault codes, B codes, U codes, C codes, and P codes. Now again, these are OBD definitions, not vehicle manufacturer specific. So we've covered these three on the bottom. Now we're going to go to history. History is where you will find all of your files that you have saved. Reports, scans, things of that nature. Now we haven't done anything with this tool yet, so there's nothing in that file. But that's where you'll find all of your reports stored on the tool. Update is going to be where you will update your vehicle software. Now we have a bunch of updates for vehicles that are not used here in North America, so you can see that I have chosen to not update that software simply because it's not a software that I ever use in North America. You can see which software has been updated already. And one other thing that you can do, which is a tremendously helpful thing, is let's say you have a problem with a given software. You can long press and you can delete it. After you long press and delete it, you can go back into the upgrade or the update section. You can tap on the version and you can actually change to a previous version. So if you're having a problem with a specific vehicle manufacturer software, you might try downgrading it to the previous version and then retry the function. Sometimes this resolves issues that are happening with a specific piece of software. After you do this, please send in the feedback logs and let the engineering team know that version, in this case, maybe we changed to 10.06. We would say, hey, maybe 10.06 actually worked and 10.12 did not. So we would want to let that, put that information in the feedback that we send. That way, we have the ability to communicate this information to engineering so that they can find the problem faster and fix that in the next release. So again, this is something very unique that you will see on our tools. Most tool manufacturers do not offer the ability to switch to a retroactive version in order to potentially resolve a problem. Okay, so that covers the update section. OBD2 is going to take us directly into the OBD scan tool section. So it's essentially a shortcut. Many other scan tools will bury the OBD2 section directly in with all of the other scanning software. In this particular situation, there is a shortcut from the main menu. So here we can see we can scan the vehicle. We can see we have 38 data PIDs in OBD2 mode. Tells us what kind of communication it uses, which is CAN bus communication. And we can see if there are any faults, if the readiness has been completed for the various monitors, if the maintenance indicator light is on, and the VIN number of the vehicle. Now we can enter in, and we have access to all the standard modes that you would expect in OBD2 mode. So we're going to go back. Now we're going to go into the services menu. So in the services menu, you'll find shortcuts to a lot of common systems that require relearns, adaptations, things of that nature. So things like tire size change, turning stop-start systems on or off, oil maintenance indicators, things like that, injector coding. So all of these types of basic maintenance services are typically found in the services menu. Now, they may also be located inside the diagnostic software for the given vehicle brand. So if you're working on a Volkswagen, you might also go into the Volkswagen specific software in the module that houses that function, such as if you're doing a throttle body. If you go into throttle body and you do not see it listed in here, then we would want to go in the Volkswagen software and we would want to look in the engine control module under the special functions section, basic settings or adaptations. So here you can see we have a big list of all the different brands. So we could go through this and find whichever brand we're working on. We're not going to do that in this case. But just to demonstrate, remember, check here and also check inside the vehicle manufacturer specific software. So last thing we're going to show you here is the Diagnostics section. Now here you can see we've got our shortcut here to OBD again and readiness. So again, another shortcut here for that. We have everything partitioned out with respect to various vehicle regions. So Asian would be like Japan and Korea. Chinese would be vehicle brands we don't have in North America here. European would be all the different European brands, some of which here exist in North America and some do not. American, and then we also have auto search. So, auto search is what we're going to do today, and that's the easiest way to do it. Now, remember, auto search is not going to work on older vehicles. When you get into the mid-2000s range, the ability for most scan tools to pull the VIN and automatically identify the vehicle is somewhat limited. So as you get back, 2005, 2006 and older, you may not be able to automatically identify the vehicle using the automatic function. You may need to go in and build the vehicle manually. So now we have a number of different options here, which you can see we've got guided functions, we've got online functions, we've got special functions, we've got system selection if we want to go into a specific subsystem. We can do a system scan or a health report. So we're going to start with health report to show you what that looks like. Remember, the menus that you have access to once you've changed to the specific vehicle brand software may vary dependent on what that vehicle manufacturer provides for options. Some vehicle manufacturers give you different menus than others. So if you don't see this exact menu on your vehicle brand, that may be a function of, hey, we've got a different setup here on this Ford than we do on this Volkswagen. And that's because Ford and Volkswagen do not manufacture the same software for diagnostics on their particular platform. So therefore, the menu choices will be different. Just something to keep in mind as you're going through this. So as we're watching the scan here, it's going pretty quickly. We're already 60% done. And you can see we already have some faults here. The two little red, the number 2 with red there. And then we have green check marks of all the modules that is already scanned and showing us that there are no faults. Now you'll find that on some of the vehicles out there, you will get it where it will slow down a little bit on a specific module. And that might be because there are multiple different variants of that module that the scan tool has to try to talk to. And eventually it figures out which one is the one on this particular vehicle, in which case then it will progress further. Okay, so we scanned the whole vehicle. Only took about 1.5 minutes, which is pretty awesome. It shows us right here we've got 2 faults. It brings the module that has faults, or modules plural, right to the top of the screen. It says we've got 2 faults for the headlamp beams. Now that's because on this particular vehicle, somebody has replaced the headlight bulbs with LEDs. So the computer is upset because the current flow going to those bulbs is lower than it expects. So we're going to hit report. Now we can also quick clear the DTCs right here from the screen. We're going to hit report. And it looks like we got a spelling error that we'll have to fix there. Here's our report. So we've got all of the information about what vehicle software version was used, the displacement, the mileage, the model, the year. You can see it also writes the time and the date. So we can see all of that information, which again is very helpful if you're doing pre-scans and post-scans. Very good for documentation purposes. And then we can see here, go through all of the different menus, and it shows us what faults are present, as well as which modules have the faults. So we're going to save it as a PDF first. So now it will get saved as a PDF with all of the information, and you'll notice that this is very similar to the reports on all of the other Topdon tools. We can now share it via email right here if we want to, or we can slide from the screen here and we can do send to email here, and then we can put in the email of whoever we want to send the report to. So if you've got a centralized reporting email that you use for your shop, or this is your personal email you want to send it to, you can type in the address and put in the specifics and send the report directly from the tool, so long as you are connected to the internet. So, That concludes the basic pre and post scan. Let's go into that module where we have the fault codes. We'll take just a little peek around here so you can see. Now on Volkswagen Audi, it actually gives us a bunch of very specific information on the module that we're talking to, including part numbers, software versions, and a lot of other very useful information, including long coding. Now, if we're planning to do anything in this module, we might want to take a screenshot of that long coding as an insurance policy, because sometimes these modules will lose their coding, and good luck trying to guess what that particular module coding is if you do not have that saved. So we're going to go into the module, and again, remember, the options that we have in this menu will be different depending on each vehicle manufacturer. So the Volkswagen menu will look different than a Ford menu. But we have a lot of the same basic options, right? So we have some options for coding, coding to, access permission, which is to log into the module, basic settings, which is essentially relearns, adaptation, also another form of relearn in many situations, can also be changing specific parameters of a module, actuation test, which would just be bidirectional control, turning things on, turning things off. Freeze frame allows us to see if there's any freeze frame data stored for a given fault code. And there is, as you can see when this fault was stored last. So that would have been March 9th, 2023. And we can see when it was stored, and if we drag, we can also see if there's any additional information. Now we could also hit report and save this to the report. We could record data here. We could compare samples between two different recordings. A number of different options here. We're going to turn off our screenshot function and go back. Now we're going to go into read DTCs, and we'll see if we have any other faults that have cropped up. It looks like the answer is no. Now if we hit this little question mark, it'll actually do an online code search through the browser. And you can see the Rostec wiki, which is very helpful for Volkswagen Audi, takes us directly to a definition and some basic information about it. So another nice feature, having that quick little access right there from the screen. So we're going to go back. Now we're going to go into read data stream. Now we have two options here. Again, this is going to be different depending on vehicle manufacturer, but we can look at data PIDs by list or by channel. Channel is something specific to Volkswagen Audi that's something they've used to format data for a long time. But you can see we have a ton of different data here that we can look at. Driver door status, passenger door status. Let's just look at those. Pretty straightforward. We can see that it says they're unlocked. Let's do record. So we're going to record it, and I'm going to sneak over here in front of the camera and lock the door. And then I'll get out of the way so you can see. Look at that, the data PID changed. And it changed back. We're going to hit stop. Now we're going to save the file. And now we can go into that history folder to look at the recorded data stream. We can also do save sample. And you see it will just start to record. So it won't record this because this doesn't have numerical values, if you will. We can also go back here, and we're going to hit combine. So we can actually do this because these are non-numerical. It's not going to allow us to combine them. So we're going to go back. And now that we've looked at some data PIDs and we actually recorded the status, let's go all the way back out. If you want to escape all the way back to the beginning, quick shortcut is the little door in the top right there. So we're going to go all the way back. It's going to remind us to remove the VCI. We're going to go back to the main page by swiping the screen. We're going to hit history and look at what we have saved in our history now. So we have files. We've got our data recording right there. Select all. OK. And we're going to play it back. And we'll be able to watch the status change. We'll give it a moment here. And there we go. The status changed. We can see that it did acknowledge the control unit, the central electronics, or BCM, saw that the door locks went locked for both the driver and passenger door, and I believe we recorded all the way up until we unlocked them again, so we'll give it a moment here, and we should see that too. Sure enough, both data PIDs changed, so the control unit knows that the doors are unlocked again. Now, we have some other options here depending on if we had the ability to graph these, which we do in this particular case. You can see, we'll hit graph. We're going to click select all, OK, graph. We're going to combine them actually if we can here. Looks like it's not going to let us because of the, oh, there we go. See if we can combine it. Looks like it won't let us because these are non-numeric values. Anyhow, if they were numeric values, it would allow us to combine them. But again, we can go back and review our data, so that's really helpful. We can also see, if we click on this right here, it's going to show us the screenshot that we saved of the coding of that module. And then we also have the entire report that we can quick access right here through the history. So again, pretty cool that we can get to all of that information. We can also tap on these sub-tabs if we just want to see reports. If we saved any PDF, which would also include reports, that's there as well. And other would show us if we accessed any other systems that are non-vehicle specific software. So if we did like an OBD report, it might be over in the other tab. So anyhow, that concludes our basic walkthrough, showing you how to navigate all of the basic menus. Remember, if you're going into vehicle-specific software, there are some very specific things you want to keep in mind. All software that is available, as far as the specific functionality, will be dependent on what each vehicle manufacturer provides. So if they don't provide a bidirectional control of a given component, then you will not see a bidirectional control available in the scan tool here either. So, just something to keep in mind. Now, one other thing you will want to keep in mind is if you do have a problem with a specific vehicle manufacturer software, so whether that's Volkswagen or Audi or Ford, we can go into the menu here, the diagnostic menu, like here, and we can long press on the software, and it won't let us delete it like it does on the other scan tools that we make, but if we go into the update and we go to the upgraded software and we scroll down until we find the brand we want to delete, we can long press on it here and delete it. Once we delete it, then we can go back and reinstall it. And we'll scroll all the way down because these are alphabetical. There it is right there. And remember, we can roll back the version. If we have an issue with the current version, we'll just go back to a previous version and retry. But we did not, so we're going to go ahead and re-download it. So that's just one other quick tip I wanted to provide to you if you are using the tool and you have any issues with anything regards to functions, communication, things of that nature. So really appreciate you taking the time to check out the new Topdon ArtiDiag900 BT. Hope you really like the tool. It's a great portable tool, very compact, great long battery life, easy to use, and the fact that the dongle snaps right into the bottom of the tool makes it really easy to be able to keep that all together. I really like that feature. So if you're looking for a great midline tool that doesn't cost a fortune and provides a ton of functionality, then the AD900 BT is really a great tool for you. Again, I'm Hawken, and I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch our video. Remember, if you have any concerns or questions, if you're in the US or Canada, please contact Topdon support on topdon.us, calling the hotline number listed there, or emailing support. If you are outside of the US, please contact your authorized distributor for support. Remember, there are also Facebook groups for Topdon support as well, and you can join those and request support through there as well. Thanks again for watching our video, and have a great day.